AMQ, number 7. Why did you stop listening to music? Is the first question. And the second question is, who did you listen to and what genres did you listen to before you stopped? So, when it came to music, it's kind of like why I got off social media. So, in my personal life, I got off totally of social media in 2017. Reason being with that, and this I'll go back to the main question, is mostly because I understood and saw and didn't like the aspect of essentially people being fake and posing their fake lives on the internet. I knew there were people that I was following, I was involved with in some way, shape, or form, or I have known that post basically all the good times in their life, all the highlights, like you see in any sports and stuff like that. But they don't post the lowlights. They don't post anything that they're going through on a lower level and things like that. And then sometimes I knew the lifestyle that they were living was not what they were living on the internet. If they were portraying that this is their lifestyle, I think there's a difference in saying this is my page and I'm focusing on posting those good things, as opposed to like this is my life and you're portraying it as such. So it's the same with music, with social media, is the aspect of influence. So music has and always will play an important role in my life because of the aspect of, I want to say, freedom of speech, people communicating in a way that only they can speak in and resonating to an audience, similar to what people do on social media with motivational speaking, singing, rapping, spoken word, anything like that. Is something that is unique to them, and they display it in a way that people will resonate with based on them being them, and nobody could recreate or be them better than them. And I think that's the most important way to look at it. However, they have the power to influence a lot because they have a big platform where they get access to a lot of people, and because a lot of the things that at least I would listen to at times are more things that were trendy, popping, fun, influencing, and things like that. They had the aspect to influence lives of the listener. And so when it came to some of the music I listened to essentially rap, hip hop, and R&B for the most part. But I dabbled in a bit of everything because at the end of the day, for me, the biggest aspect when it came to listening to music was the aspect of storytelling. Being able to be put into a place where I can visualize what is going on. So say like a rapper made a music video and they were talking about how they did a robbery, how they experienced being cheated on and what they dealt with afterwards, how they had issues with their parents in some way, shape, or form due to abuse or neglect or something like that, or witnessing a traumatic experience and how they or how they dealt with it or something that led up to it. But they created a visual for it. My aspect of listening to music that resonated with me a lot was being able to listen to it and have that story play out in my head however my mind created it. And it wasn't already made in the music video because sometimes they did, but that aspect resonated with me. So if they didn't create a music video for the song, it allowed me to have my creative way of thinking of how it kind of took, took its own way in my head. And so that was important for me. But when it came to music in general, I listened to everything because I do like a good solid beat. I do like a story. Yes, I fell for the trends at times because that's what's put in our face on the radio, on TV, and things like that. So those are the things we're going to see the most and get the most profitability. But there were a lot of artists that I also listened to that weren't on those things. They weren't all over the world. They weren't at the award ceremonies. They weren't on the TV screens. They weren't on the radio. And I would dig in and dive deep and find artists like that. And sometimes I would find them before they even got bigger, to the point that I stopped listening to them as much because everybody else started talking about them. It's like following a trend. You knew about something or you set a trend and now everybody else is following suit with it. Now you get off and go move on to the next thing, the mind of the one percenter. And so when it came to that, some of those artists and what they displayed were not positively influenced to a degree. And you can pick and choose what you listen to. And I knew what I was listening to. But I also learned over the course of time how those things can affect things with my emotions. Since I am a person who dives deep with my emotions, I'm aware of my emotions and things like that. Um, and so if I was sad, what I would do, I would listen to a sad song. I wanted to be hyped up and energized, I would listen to something like that. If I wanted to feel good and be happy and stuff like that, I would listen to something like that. But that kind of played with my emotions. It kind of had the influence of my emotions based on that. especially with me struggling with mental health and being depressed and suicidal ideation and stuff like that. If I really felt that and I really felt hurt by somebody or something, I would then listen to that now validated that. It's like if somebody tells you, yes, something's wrong with you, and then they continue to tell you, yes, something's wrong, something's wrong. Eventually, they keep validating it. So it's a whole deeper aspect of it led me up to getting to the point where in 2021, I was at my lowest for one of my lowest times in my life. And the music was not helping me. The type of music was not helping me. And then I turned and started listening to more things in regards to Christianity, reading the Bible, and things like that. And so it got to a point where I stepped away from that because of the negative influences that I was listening to. Not exactly the music, because like I said, you have the ability to pick and choose what you listen to. And so when it came to what I was listening to, I switched it and started listening to stuff with the Bible and Christianity. And then it transformed and opened up to things like motivational speaking, inspiration, spoken word, and stuff like that. And so it has transpired to be things like that where it's very similar with music is you put a beat over somebody speaking, flowing in some way, shape, or form that now can resonate and be catchy and stuff like that for somebody to listen to. And so fast forward to now, I'm starting to get back into some of those things, but I have a different mindset around it. I'm very aware of what I'm listening to. I'm not listening to stuff based on my emotions or anything like that. And I don't listen to it too much still, and I pick and choose who I listen to. And the type of artists I will listen to, I mean, I have my tops. There was Chris Brown, Tyga, Logic, Kid Ink, um, throw in some August Alsina, Dave East, A Boogie, Corday. NLE Choppa and Corday are probably like my newest ones from the newer generation. And remember, my mindset's still kind of in the 2021 time. And so some of those artists are still being relevant as of today, as it's September 2023. And so now that I'm reintroducing myself to these music and this artist, I still lean towards some of those people. And the reason why I do is because of the aspect of one, familiarity, and then I kind of see their journey. And that's the biggest thing for me is some of these people, I align with their journey and the aspect of storytelling I was talking about, whereas I saw some of them before they got bigger and before they went mainstream and everybody else knew about them, or I resonated with a story to some degree, or they just have a sound that really just hits me and makes me want to, like, makes me feel good, makes me want to work out, whatever it is. And it's a deeper aspect in regards to some of those things. So I will make a video that is specific to the artist and things like that, as far as why I listen to them, why it's very specific to these individuals. But there's a long list of people that I listen to or I say I would be loyal to. But that's the aspect of why I stopped listening to music. Basically, the big influence on my life and my decision making with listening to that music did not exactly help. So I then took something away in order to reintroduce it in a healthier way and know when to pull myself away from it and when to dive into it. So that's it. AMQ. Thank you again. See y'all next week.